Well, hello and welcome, everyone. Welcome to the show. I haven't decided yet. I originally, Kenny, I'm gonna do me a favor. The light switch over there. Lower down the light. I haven't decided yet. I originally started this that's good, perfect. Possibly calling it Guardians of the Internet. If you don't get the reference, I'm referencing Guardians of the Galaxy, which is about to be a movie coming out in, I think, 2015, Phase 2, Marvel. But, fuck off, mate. But for some reason, I did a Facebook page, and because I haven't thought of a name for the Facebook page, I put In Progress. And now I don't want to change it. I like that, In Progress. So maybe this show will be Guardians of the Internet, but then my page will be In Progress for all the other untitled projects or whatever I do recording. Anyway, enough of my shenanigans. Welcome to the show. And tonight we have our host, Professor Warlock. As here with me is our regular we can't seem to get rid of.
Philosopher Santiago.
And we have back
Punchmaster Lewis.
Punchmaster. And tonight he brings with us a guest.
Iris.
Iris.
Which is a cool enough title on its own.
Damn straight.
Damn straight.
Girl, you fine.
So last show went pretty well. We got more listeners, and I was actually able to record the damn thing, and I'm recording this one right now. So hopefully we'll post it soon for people who couldn't tune in. Why does it look so sporadic? Hold on one second. Okay, no, it's good. It's good. We're all perfect. Everyone say a word. I just want to make sure. Say something.
Word.
Do it again.
A word.
God damn it, Santiago, speak into the mic.
I'm practically deep throating this mic.
Wow.
Well, you're not good at it then. All right, wait. Your mic 3. Say something now.
Something now.
Say something now.
Something now.
Is your mic dead? What the?
I don't know. I mean, it's Halloween. I kind of expect it to be dead.
Your mic's perfect.
Okay.
Speak into the mic.
Into the mic? No.
Yours isn't coming up either. Hold on.
Only the Punchmaster remains.
Am I not talking loud enough, or?
No. It's all
Okay.
Tom's fault.
You're coming up now.
Okay.
Santiago, say something.
Something.
Or maybe you should pull the chair in. It's not so sit far away and fix the mic.
But he is
What do you mean?
he is practically deep throating the mic.
I know. I'm trying. Say something.
Something. Hello. I'm the doctor.
Well, it's showing up over there. I guess that's all that counts. All right, so we'll leave it be, and if people can't hear you, then they'll have to fill the blanks with their imaginations. Or you know what I'll do? I'll go in. And
Imagination.
I'll have a Santiago soundboard, and if your voice doesn't show up, I'll just go in from previous shows and put in random things you said from previous shows. I'll be like, so Santiago, how was your day? Let's rape her.
Wow. That's going to work out well for me. If I didn't get, quote-unquote, stoned for the last show, I'm definitely going to do it now.
Stone him!
All right, so tonight's theme, if I haven't talked about it enough and people aren't fucking sick of it, I figured this would be the time to do a sci-fi, monster, and then urban legends and Japanese monsters and urban legends. Because as much as I know about American cinema and American monster movies, good friend over here knows a little bit more about the Japanese side of things. Some good urban legends and
The
some good monsters.
Punchmaster knows all.
The Punchmaster knows all. And we have a very special, terrible movie to watch of the week that none of these guys have seen the trailer for. And I feel nothing would be better to introduce the idea of monster movies than to play this trailer for everybody. Those at home who cannot view it, I will post it. You can watch it on my Facebook while we play the show. But I will also be playing the audio. Just hang on there 1 second. Everyone, talk about how was your weekend? How was everybody?
Well, mine was pretty good. I, started watching a new show. Basically, once I finish with that, I'm going to get around to Breaking Bad.
Well, what was the other show you were watching?
I was watching Arrow.
Oh, with John. Oh, yeah.
Well, yeah, I was kind of curious. Like, all right, this is a cool show, and then I'm like, bam, John fucking Barrowman, Captain John's. Wait, it's Captain Jack's.
Jack Harkness.
I don't know why I was thinking Captain John.
The Punchmaster is confused.
Jack Harkness was at John Berman. He was at Comic-Con.
Another person at Comic-Con? I'm pissed off now.
You mad?
We just stopped
Yes.
rubbing it in. It's bad enough none of us could have gone.
Like,
Yeah.
it's bad enough Lemony Snicket went, and I missed him. It's like he was apparently walking around and like he had
And
T-shirts.
no one knew who he was.
No one ever knows who he was. He's still at large, everyone.
Like Seth MacFarlane.
Yes.
I'm poor.
All right, guys, you ready? Can you all see right over here? I just posted the video to Facebook for anyone that wants to tune and watch it. Otherwise, I think the audio is funny enough, but you have to see the trailer at some point besides the reactions. Are you guys ready? Are you ready for this?
I got one question. What's the name of
Sure.
the movie?
It's called The Giant Claw.
The claw.
Giant Claw?
The
Or just
giant
Claw?
the giant claw.
Oh, that's good, because if you said The Claw,
Wait.
I would have, said I've already seen that Jim Carrey movie.
The claw.
What year was it made?
1957.
Okay.
Ooh. The Punch Master is intrigued.
But that was only 5 years after Singing in the Rain for you cinema snobs.
What the hell? What the hell is that?
The Fantastic Flying Monster, apparently.
Bigger than a battleship.
Oh no.
Oh no, the humanity!
Faster than a jet plane.
I can't see.
Making war on mankind.
Okay. Now I see.
You
And
should.
now I wish I can.
Coming after me.
A giant claw. What the? It's a giant
Wow.
flying puppet. Run for your lives!
Wow.
Extraterrestrial.
Oh no.
Comes from outer space.
Yeah.
Godforsaken antimatter galaxy, millions and millions of light years from the Earth.
Atomic hydrogen weapons, capable of wiping cities, countries off the face of the earth, are completely ineffective against this creature
Giant
from the
pigeon.
skies.
Panic from Broadway to Bombay! Old women freezing mid-frame!
There it is now.
There it is now! The old lady's the monster! Atomic age science helpless. Only religion can save us, guys!
And it's still not as big as a threat as the Russians.
Chasing us. How are you doing?
Not the Russians!
God's sake, hurry, man. It's catching up with us fast.
Darkest sky and screen.
What the hell was that? Was that like a war of the puppets?
Well, no. If it was a war of the puppets, more puppets would come.
No, Iris, that thing was crapping out explosions.
Oh.
That, if you couldn't tell, is a 50s movie, a monster movie, sci-fi movie about a giant bird. And it's not just any kind of giant bird. It's an alien bird brought to Earth with its magical puppet powers of really cheesy effects to destroy mankind, and has a radiation shield that prevents it from being killed by conventional means.
Except cancer.
Oh, the horror.
Oh no, it's not like we just can't wait it out for the bird to die of its own cancer shield.
Yeah, it's one of those novelty films in that everyone in the film acted incredibly serious. And I remember what I had heard was that when the making of this movie, the main star had no idea what the monster looked like, but he took the role so well. He performed in everything. But then when you watch the movie, when you finally get introduced to the giant claw, it just turns the whole movie into a train wreck. Apparently, at the premiere of this, he had not seen the monster. So when he went to see it in theaters, the audience broke out laughing, and he ran out of embarrassment.
Ah, feel the shame.
Now, I want to know, apparently this puppet bird, has been lost forever. I would like to know where's that bird. I want that puppet bird. I want that puppet bird.
Yeah!
If I was that guy, I would have found that bird and, buried it next to Jimmy Hoffa so no one would find it.
I would bury it next to E.T.
No, I would leave it as an effigy to spread fear amongst the populace. Fear the claw! The Punch Master commands it!
It
But
probably wasn't that big, Lewis.
Shh!
This is just one of the more famous, awful ones. I recommend it highly. That or The Killer Shrew.
What
The
is that about?
Killer
A bad?
Shrew.
Is that like a bad
Hey.
relationship?
The shrew is a... Hang on, I'm going to look it up now.
The killer shrew. Oh no, the relationship is going south, so now he's resorting to name calling.
Well,
I was totally throughout that trailer. I was totally thinking, okay, where's gonna be the anti-communist propaganda? Because you said it was in 1959.
Yeah, we're America. Let's stone those godless commies and their godless commie bird.
And the claw is still not the biggest threat against the fight of communism.
well, the bird was probably red. It just didn't show.
What does the
Because it's a
bird know
black and
about
white movie.
communism?
Plus, wasn't it?
Because it's a bird.
No, what, does he take equal shits on everyone?
Hey, it's invading America, and it would be red.
Why,
kind of
would
what
it
communist
be
meant.
red?
Yeah, but it was in 59. It was in 59.
Iris,
57.
that sounds like
57
commie talk,
59.
Iris. You're telling me the bird is red.
Hold on.
Well, still, weren't
Well,
the
the
movies
thing
black
of,
and white then?
I know a lot of movies at this time did have a cultural reference to, even in subtle ways, to the idea of of communism. If you look at the movie Them, it's constantly referring to terms of we got to contain it, we got to eliminate it, and it's not directly making a comment, but at the same time it's saying that there's a threat that needs to be contained. And if you look at U.S. history, one of the biggest terms thrown around during the Cold War is we got to contain it, we got to keep it from getting into Vietnam, we got to keep it
it's a
from
subtle reference. That
subtle
you can make
reference.
You can make the leap, but no.
But there's no Russian that looks like a giant fucking ant, which is actually one of the better sci-fi movies of the time. Them, it's fantastic. I love the
Yes.
animatronic ants walking through the desert.
So
They're so cool.
On a horse with no name?
no.
But,
It's a giant
here's another bad one. It's called The Killer Shrew. And I'm going to not tell you what the shrew is, so you just got to know what a shrew is or see what it is in this trailer.
So is it a bad-tempered woman?
You'll see.
Nothing out of the sky, or out of the sea, or on the earth could be more terrifying. You gotta be... What the fuck is that?
The killer shrew.
Literal shrews?
Yes.
Oh no! They must eat an hour! Every hour, otherwise their metabolism kills them.
Looks like a small rat.
Shrews as small as rats, perfect for scientific experiments, until they began to grow and grow into things.
They must eat 3 times their own weight in food every 24 hours or starve.
There are 200 or 300 giant shrews out there. Monsters weighing between 50
And only
100
one
pounds.
will survive.
That's as big as a full-grown wolf.
Mr. Ed, no!
Finally, poisonous monsters.
With the livestock, the shrews got into the barn.
The
Nope.
wildest of flesh eaters.
Seabiscuit's
threatening all mankind.
Yeah, hillbilly hunting.
Crawl with fear at their nearness.
The shrews were out there. I couldn't take a chance.
Yeah, kick his ass. What animals are those?
I'm gonna guess like dogs or something with makeup or something.
It looks kind of cute.
Yeah, except for like the razor sharp teeth and that.
No, I could sick them on my foes.
Yeah, so that I don't even know exactly what a shrew is. Apparently, it's like the size of a mouse, and now
It's in the rodent family. It's just like a
now
mouse.
they're overgrown dogs wearing costumes, running around chasing people. I think the funniest part at the very beginning, if it's hard, I noticed it this time. There's like a guy running through the woods. He climbs the tree, and the shrews are just jumping at him. And the guy falls out of the tree. He's like, "Ah!"
Suck it!
Killer shrews, everybody! Wow, we are really hitting the high roll of bad films today.
Have
I
you?
prefer killer tomatoes. At least they're edible.
The Punch Master recommends you watch Birdemic.
Oh no!
He made his darling girlfriend watch it with him, and she loved
It
it.
was horrible. Don't do it.
You
Don't
loved
do
it.
it.
You
Don't
loved it.
do
You
it.
know you do.
Don't do it. Your eyes will bleed
I
and
know
your
of
ears will
Birdemic.
collapse.
That is one of those really bad modern ones too. 'Cause
Yes, it
it's,
was.
We always hear Birdemic in relation to
Sharknado?
the Room.
Yes.
You're tearing me apart, Lisa.
No.
Why? Please talk to me, please.
It's like, and the worst part is the people in Birdemic, they actually tried, and it's like, why?
What do you mean tried? You saw those sex scenes? They were wearing the underwear.
I know, but it's like, why? No, see, if it was made with the intent to be a joke, then it would be funny. But it's like, it wasn't, because there were...
I'd be honest, I think it's actually funnier when they don't intend it to be a joke and they fail miserably.
I know.
Because I feel like there's a movie called Thanksgiving, and I watched Thanksgiving, and it was funny for 20 minutes, but it was intentionally made to be bad, and after a while the punchline just grew old. But it was still kind of fun to watch. These are all on Netflix, by the way, people. If you don't have a Netflix, then I guess you illegally download things. Don't say that on the air, but I just did. I don't say that I do it, but I say that people do it.
Speaking of like bad modern movies, like I found this funny. I just recently saw Sharknado a couple days ago.
How was Sharknado?
I'm not sure if it was meant to be serious or not, but I couldn't stop laughing. And
There's sharks being thrown around in a tornado.
Yeah, but it seemed like one of those sci-fi movies that you throw together for $1,000. But the thing is, sharks freaked me out ever since Jaws. Ever since I saw Jaws when I was 5 years old. You guys are dicks. I mean, granted, I laugh now at Jaws 3 and everything, but the first Jaws still freaks me out.
Oh, yeah, same here. I was like, no, Dad, I don't want to go in the water. And guess what my dad did?
He threw you in the water?
You people were actually freaked out by Jaws?
It was, well,
don't you
think
dare
about it.
judge
It came
me.
out in 1979, the summer of 1979. It's considered the first blockbuster, like summer blockbuster. Like, the reason why big action films come out in the summer is because the formula was kind of laid out by Jaws, by Star Wars, these epic, like, fantasy films or, like, sci-fi horror that come out and just bank big time. And it was also the same year, 1979, where the first, like, the I think one of the most successful independent movies had come out and just stole the show and became a huge franchise.
Which one was that one?
1979's John Carpenter's Halloween.
That's true.
Okay.
I never saw it.
It's fantastic.
I have. It's
I saw,
so good.
but I will say this: Jaws freaked me out more for the simple fact, Halloween I could see it happen in some remote city, or in the middle of the sticks. But Jaws, I could totally see it happening anytime in the water.
Like, though, statistically, you're more likely to get killed by like a Michael Myers kind of person than you are than a shark.
You're more likely to get killed by bees than sharks.
Yeah, but I don't
You're
know.
more likely to get hit by lightning twice, actually.
Well, I guess it's the whole fact that you can't reason with a wild animal, but you can sort of outthink a serial killer or something. A shark, you're in the water, you're out of your element.
None can outthink the Punch Master.
So I particularly love these sci-fi movies. I do. I grew up watching. It kind of goes in the pattern of it starts with the Universal monster movies from the 20s and 30s, and then it branches off into these radioactive monsters, and they pair them up all the time for Halloween. Like we said, Them is fantastic. There's what else is there?
We're talking old ones because I don't know if you can really count Aliens, sort of.
You mean Alien? That's a fantastic movie.
Well, I know. I just didn't want to go for the obvious.
That was
still stuck in the 30s and 20s.
I mean, like, the early sci-fi movies weren't so scary. They were like, they just had a general theme. But, of invading aliens, we must take them down. But
Mars Attacks.
Or,
Invasion of the Body Snatchers.
Invasion of the Body
Revenge
Snatchers.
of the Triffids.
Oh, and the Thing. The original Thing.
Oh.
The original one?
Not the John Carpenter one.
Oh, okay.
Which is one of my favorite horror movies with Kurt Russell being... that, to me... I watched The Thing... like the second time in my life the other day, and it made me. You know what it really reminded me of? It reminded me of Resident Evil 4.
Welcome, stranger.
You had like the badass main protagonist and a bunch of people, infected. The only difference is that, to be honest, despite how gory Resident Evil 4 was, The Thing I think still topped it.
Yep.
And, yeah, those animatronics were amazing.
Now we're talking the original Thing, right?
John Carpenter's The Thing. Because it goes like this. There's the original The Thing, which is a kind of the same idea of, a group of people in the Arctic, and they awaken an alien. But in the original, the alien was a person. It was a super powerful person that went after them and stalked them. It was like an early version of a stalker film. Then John Carpenter remade it, and in very big contrast to Halloween, which was about a stalker, very bloodless but more suspenseful, thrilling, and the music was the main, characteristic of the movie. The music in that movie is a personality of its own. The Thing by John Carpenter is not about a physical being. It's about an alien that can possess and manipulate actually it copies a body. It absorbs your DNA and makes a copy, but it's still the alien. And it's suspenseful but incredibly shocking. There's so much really good jump scares and incredibly well done animatronic effects. It is by far one of my favorite movies.
When did that one come out? It's like late 70s, mid 70s.
I can't remember off the top of my head, but it followed Halloween. I know that much.
All right, so basically mid 70s.
What's RE4 about?
What? RE4? It's like you watch the movie. It's about a bunch of people with unrealistic characteristics just going around shooting shit up.
I thought it was a babysitting simulator where you chased some dumb bimbo around.
That's a joke. You have to know. You have to have played Resident Evil 4 to know that you spend a majority of that time babysitting a blonde girl, the president's daughter, Ashley, and it can get very annoying.
So I see the president's daughter has ballistics.
It was based off the second movie, or
no, the movies have nothing to do with the game. I was making a joke that somebody would be like, "Oh, isn't the game just like the movie?" Which I don't understand the movies in that. Well, I mean, first of all, they're already dramatically different, but after the second movie, Umbrella already destroyed the planet.
Yep.
Why do they keep going? Like we're gonna take over the world, and we have a big secret plan, and it's like you already accomplished your goal.
But Tom, you gotta see, it's like Risk. It's like a zero-sum game. It's like I can't fully win until you fully lose. It becomes Risk is like when you've won already, but the douche who's winning let you lose. So it turns into a battle of attrition, like Romans versus Jesus.
I mean, I guess.
Yeah, so basically those last 200 people are just like, yeah, we're gonna make you fight as hard as you possibly can.
Yep.
Well, there wasn't even like 200 people. There was like 5.
And it could be that they're just running out of ideas, and they're just doing whatever they can to make money.
Let's run on nothing but gore and sex. That usually works.
So, and then now that we've discussed a little bit of movies, the king of all monsters, international king of monsters, that's come here, and we've seen plenty of his movies here. Godzilla. And we're going to completely disregard what happened in 1998.
Wait, is that the one with the Roger Ebert quote-unquote parodies?
Yeah, because that was the two guys who made Independence Day, and Roger Ebert.
Yeah, I know. It's like, this is 10 times better than Independence Day. Was that one the line in the movie or something?
No, they just had two characters that were making fun of Siskel and Ebert.
Yeah. But I think that's because the other guy didn't like Independence Day or something.
Because Independence Day were honest about it. They said Independence Day was a bad movie, in which it is. It's a fun movie. I enjoyed watching it, but it was pretty bad. It is kind of like watching one of these, except with Will Smith being Will Smith.
Wasn't it based off War of the Worlds?
It might have been.
Or at least inspired by.
It was inspired by, but took a completely different turn. It was really this was like the era of when CG was becoming big, besides Jurassic Park. So they just did whatever they could to destroy the White House in a film.
It's the same way reading a book is like a 3-legged dog fight.
That's an interesting analogy, but
so
I'll take your word for it.
Let's talk about the king of monsters, Godzilla. I am pretty excited. There's a Legendary Pictures is actually making, and it'll be out in 2015. They remade the series. But this time, unlike last time, Toho has a bigger hand in it. And I've seen pictures of glimpses of what the monster looks like. Godzilla looks awesome.
Good.
And apparently I had not seen the leaked trailer, and I was really upset there was no leak. I couldn't get to the leaked trailer, but apparently from what I heard is that it's intimidating and it makes Godzilla a force of nature again.
I'm going to hold judgment on the simple fact.
Santiago, go ahead.
Sorry.
Also, if any of you went to San Diego Comic-Con, you probably went into the section where they actually showed the Godzilla teaser. I only saw this video from online, but people went in. It was sort of like Twister in Universal, and they went in and suddenly the floor apparently started shaking, and something walked past a window, and it was clearly Godzilla, and everyone cheered, and it made me happy.
Godzilla 2000, end your joy now.
Godzilla. I love those movies. I own the original and then the 1985 version.
2000?
The 2000, Godzilla 2000.
That shitty one that.
Well, I don't love it. I'm just.
That was not Godzilla.
I liked fun. Well, no. Are you talking about the American one in 1998?
The shitty one of they had Super Beast from Rob Zombie playing.
That was 1998, Lewis. Not 2000.
No, Toho and like Japan in general were very upset with the 1998 Godzilla, so they just like did Godzilla all over again in 2000. It was called Godzilla 2000. That one I don't remember being particularly good, but at least it was Godzilla. But the movie would have been alright if it was just like not Godzilla. I will say this though, that animated series that followed it on I think it was Fox or something, because they had a bunch of cartoons back in the day.
That shitty one.
Cartoons I'm familiar with, but I don't
there was a Godzilla movie based off of the 1998 film, and I won't lie, that was actually pretty good. It actually kept more true to the original Godzilla, although still using the look of the American Godzilla. It was pretty much like Godzilla and a team of the team from the movie fighting giant monsters, which is essentially what you want in a Godzilla film. And they even make references to original Godzilla monsters, because in how in like the end of the 1988 movie there was like an egg that just hatched.
Yep.
The cartoon was about that egg. So there was one episode that was really cool. This is totally original Godzilla. Aliens came down and used mind control to take over all the world's monsters. And they had this big project called Project X. And it turns out that Project X was they found the corpse of the Godzilla killed in the movie and created Mecha Godzilla.
Yeah, America.
Yeah. So it was actually pretty good and stayed more true to what Toho would have imagined. But now we're going to get our own, finally hopefully a true adaptation of Godzilla. I'm looking forward to it.
Well, I got a question. I mean, I know who Godzilla is, but what exactly is the origins? I mean, is he like some giant dinosaur that was woken up after millions of years? Or
we got the answer right here.
Actually, Godzilla, Gojira, his original name was from the Japanese thing, was created as a reference as like an answer to the Japan getting nuked. It was a little lizard that, due to nuclear radiation, became this giant hellish beast.
Oh, all right.
It was an anti-nuclear war message in the form of a giant angry monster that breathes nuclear fire.
Oh, nuclear fire. I thought it was just fire.
No, it was nuclear fire.
No, it was like an atomic breath.
Cancer blast.
Matter of fact, in the 98 American movie, he wasn't supposed to do fire breath or atomic breath at all, to keep the monster more realistic, which is, well, fuck that. If you're gonna make a giant fucking monster destroying a city, you might as well. You gotta go out. You can't be. We gotta make him realistic. A giant fucking lizard walking around a city is not realistic to begin with. You just gotta go with it.
Yep.
But yeah, that was if I remember correctly, Toho rebooted and had 3 different series for Godzilla, if I'm correct, right? They had the original run that all were directly connected to the original. Then they rebooted it, and then they in the reboot it was a sequel to it was a direct sequel to the original, but the story was that it was a different Godzilla, because then there's a whole bunch of convoluted Godzilla stories. I can't remember exactly how they all go, but I just remember they all bring back the monsters. By far my favorite monster is Mecha Godzilla. To fight Godzilla.
What about Mothra or Ghidorah?
Well, I mean, I love Mothra and Ghidorah, but Mothra is more like an ally. I like the original in the first adaptation of Mecha Godzilla, which is one of probably the coolest looking Mecha Godzilla. He was created by aliens to fight Godzilla, and then the second Mecha Godzilla was actually created from the bones of the destroyed Godzilla. Remember in the first movie he was destroyed by the water bomb, was it? He was destroyed by the bomb. What was the name of the bomb?
I don't
Hydrogen?
know. The MacGuffin bomb.
He was destroyed by the bomb. He disintegrated to bone. But then they revived him and made the second Mecha Godzilla. There's a whole bunch. Oh, and then in the other, there's like 3 versions, and then the other one, he's the remains of like King Ghidorah. King Ghidorah.
I got a question. Ghidorah, is that the turtle with the spikes on the back?
No.
Because I know Mothra's just a giant moth.
The turtle, it would be Gamera, I believe.
Yeah,
either that or Anguirus.
Anguirus was the one with the horn on the nose, like the big horn on his nose.
Yeah.
King Ghidorah was the 3-headed dragon.
Because I know all the monsters by sight, but God help me for their names, except for Godzilla and Mecha.
Yep, I get you.
Yeah.
The only way I know it's because of the video games, that crappy video game called Destroy All Monsters
Is that the
Melee.
one where it's basically Mortal Kombat with the monsters? I thought that was fun.
Yep, just play as Destroyer and just mash the special and you win.
All right.
If it was $10, you can't go wrong with it.
It was 30. You can go very wrong with it.
Okay, no argument for me. I mean, just take a look at Aliens Colonial Marines.
Did you get Aliens Colonial Marines?
No, but I was excited for it because I was a huge fan of the Aliens franchise, like a lot of people. I'm like, I do this in a lot of games. That game looks good. I'm gonna wait and see how it is. And thank God I did, because after that game release broke me for both games and movies. Like you're saying, you're all excited for Godzilla. I'm gonna sit back and reserve judgment.
Movie games,
it's broken my faith.
Yep.
So you're saying that was a pretty bad game, but that's enough for you to not trust movies now?
No, it's not. It's enough for you not to trust trailers.
Yep.
Okay.
Movie games tend to be ass. I don't know about movies. I don't know. Like, say he's the movie atheist, I'm the movie agnostic.
That's fair. I can see that. All right. I want to do something funny right now. We did talk about how we were going to bring up urban legends, and I think that'd be a good segue for you to tell some really good... I want to hear about the Severed-Mouthed Woman.
Oh, Kuchisake Onna.
Yeah. But first, I want Santiago to read his beautiful narrating voice an urban legend I found for him. Unless do you know any yourself?
Do I know? No. When you say urban legends, I'm just thinking, like we were saying before we started the show, waking up in the bathroom in ice while your kidney's missing.
The Legend of Tijuana. Ooh.
Wow.
All right. Are you ready? I'm going to give it to you, and you're going to scroll down and read it. Let me make sure this is the right one. And I'm going to play a song for you, so it...
And if I screw up, I have one answer to that. The American education system.
Indeed.
All right, ready? Here
No
you go.
Child Left Behind.
Most people listening will probably know this, but that's not what's going to be funny about this. Santiago, when I tell you to, you can start reading. Santiago, don't read the name of the myth. Just I want people to kind of guess it. Are you guys ready? It's gonna be spooky.
Ooh, spooktacular.
Spooktacular savings.
Oh, I've heard it.
Boy, shut up and just...
I'll read it, but I'm saying I've heard of it.
All right.
Tell me when.
Dun-dun.
Dun-dun-dun-dun.
Dun-dun-dun-dun.
All
Go ahead, Santiago. Start reading.
right. A young girl named Lisa was often left alone at her home because her parents worked late. So they bought her a dog to protect her and keep her company. One night, Lisa was awakened by a constant dripping sound.
Drip. Drip.
She got up and went to the kitchen to turn off the tap properly. As she was getting back into the bed, she stuck her hand under the bed and the dog licked it reassuringly. The dripping sound continued, so she went to the bathroom and turned off the tap properly in there, too. She went back to her bedroom and again stuck her hand under the bed, and again the dog licked it. But the dripping sound continued. So she went outside and turned off the taps out there, too. She came back to bed, stuck her hand under it, and the dog licked it again. Still, the dripping continued. Drip, drip,
Drip. Drip. Drip.
Drip.
This time she listened and located the source of the dripping. It was coming from her cupboard. She opened the cupboard door, and there was her dog hanging upside down with its neck cut and written on the window. On the inside of the cupboard door was, "Humans can lick too."
I like that. You read it pretty well. That was pretty entertaining, Santiago.
You're welcome.
You should do radio sometime.
I know. I definitely have the face for it.
That's fun.
Like I've heard the ending in that one. Psychos can lick hands too, like one of those crazy ones. Or
Well,
some
there's
shit.
different variations on those.
For me, the creepiest kind of urban legend is the one where the monster or the killer is there the whole time. Like when, the original When a Stranger Calls, she's like getting these awful, in threatening phone calls, and she has it traced, and then there's just that famous scene where it's like, you need to get out of the house. The calls are coming from within the house. And there's just that beautiful shot of her from the top of the stairs looking down and her looking up, and you're like, oh, fuck.
Yeah, all you see is the
Oh,
silhouette.
fuck. And she tries to run towards the door, and...
Did you read that one in Creepy Tales? That little short stories, that book of short horror stories of urban legends and stuff like that?
No, I just found it online.
Oh, okay.
Google's a great thing.
Because there was a story like that was similar, but I think in the end the killer ended up being in her car and she didn't realize it.
Oh, I'm gonna tell you that story. Let me get the song ready.
I think if I remember, if you watch the movie Urban Legends, they cover
It's in
a
there.
lot of these ones.
They do. I liked it, but the problem with me in that movie is that movie took some of the eeriness out of all of those urban legends.
Well, I think they just tried to cram too many in there.
They crammed too many in there, and they kind of took the point wasn't the whole urban legends thing. The point was it was another 90s whodunit slasher film. Because if there's anything the 90s did was Scream revived the slasher film.
And then you got,
But it wasn't like traditional slasher films. It was whodunit, like, I Know What You Did Last Summer. And it's more about the suspense thrilling than it is like the true horror. Because as much as I did enjoy watching I Know What You Did Last Summer, those teens were all kind of dicks.
Just a bit.
I mean, it doesn't help that, Friday the 13th and such like that. Nobody, the kids are all dying, but at least it's all, you watch it for, like, the brutality.
Yep.
Yeah,
And a lot of these 90s
scary.
movies, as much as some of them are really good, they're also, like, trying to take themselves too seriously at times. And it's like, I don't care about these people. Matter of fact, the kids in I Know What You Did Last Summer, they killed a guy and have that secret. I mean, come on, these aren't great human beings. I'm not feeling from them to begin with.
Like, a movie is bad when you actively want the characters to die. Note, Paranormal Activity. Hey guys, the house might be haunted. Let's film it. No, you got what you deserved, asshole. Congrats. Demon Chicken ate your soul.
Yeah, but the thing is with those slasher films, it is back to
Which slasher films?
Well, I call them the 90s slasher films.
That's fair to say. I call them whodunit.
All right, the whodunit ones. It's because Scream started. Because personally, I never found the ones from the 80s and the 70s, Halloween, Nightmare on Elm Street, Friday the 13th. It's because you knew who the killer was. The big mystery was who was going to die next and how.
Well,
With
here's the thing, though.
Scream, it's back to what I've been saying this whole time is don't reveal too much. It's the mystery, the unknown.
But at the
that makes
same
it scary.
time, the thing about Scream and why I like the Scream, I really enjoyed Scream, and I think Scream is the best 90s whodunit because what Scream did is, even though, like you said, there's that element of mystery, Scream still created a mythology. That mask, that costume, that concept is still a mythology in and of itself. We still look at Ghostface as one of the classical slashers.
Yeah.
And there are movies where there's a mystery. 1974's Bob Clark, the guy who made A Christmas Story. If you ever watch a Christmas Story and realize that there's some really creepy elements, it's because he made horror movies. Bob Clark in 1974 made the original Black Christmas, which is by far one of my favorite horrors. I keep saying that's one of my favorite, but they're all for different reasons. Black Christmas is by far one of the creepiest and most disturbing movies I've ever seen, and it's that element that the whole time he was there. You never see the killer, and it's a mystery the whole time, and it's a crazy reveal at the end. But that did something differently that the 90s slashers don't. The 90s slashers, I think, they try to replicate it, but there's just an element of eeriness and creepiness without even being gory. It's just more disturbing to a level that I think the 90s movies tried to avoid to prevent from scaring off audiences.
Yeah.
But then we went into like the early 2000s where everything was just gore, and now we're at a point where it's all like supernatural, which I'm actually beginning to like because the best opportunity to have a good jump scare is in a supernatural film, and we can definitely afford to do it with the amount of technology we have right now. But I'm gonna read that urban legend right now. Hang on one sec. I gotta. All right, let me see.
Saying like another thing of those whodunit was what Scream did is the villain, the killer could actually die, which means he had to keep it into account and be smarter. There's nothing more scary than a killer who's smart.
Yep.
It's true.
Killer who can't die. It's like, I'm just a force of nature, and you're totally boned.
Yeah, I mean, all you can do is contain it at
Yep.
best.
Yep.
I don't know if they would be forces of nature. Most of the slashers in the 80s, they were like, with the exception of Michael Myers, a lot of them were revived corpses.
That's
not
true.
exactly
Michael Myers has
natural.
never died.
Mm.
Michael Myers was just defined as like pure evil in the essence of a man. Like he can't be killed. Whereas like Jason's a walking zombie.
He's a mama's boy with a
Yeah.
grass cutter.
And Freddy Krueger, I will say though, I love Freddy Krueger. His movie, the first Nightmare on Elm Street, is still pretty creepy. The element of like it's a dream world, anything can happen, and I like that they took effect of that. Hang on, the myth you're talking about. What was the backseat killer. All right, I just gave away the whole plot, but.
Oh.
All right, ready, guys? Ready?
Okay.
That sucks when the title gives it away, though.
The story goes: a young girl was driving home from college down the road. She was hitting down the country roads, and it was late at night. She pulled into a gas station. She pulls up, parks, and the gas station attendant comes out to help her, and he goes, "How can I help you, ma'am?" All of a sudden, the girl notices that he starts acting weird. And he's like, "Ma'am, your credit card's declined." And she goes, "What do you mean?" He goes, "I need you to step inside." She notices that it's dark and that there's no one inside, and that she's starting to fear that he's, trying to get her. He's trying to kill her. Then all of a sudden, he pulls on the door and tries to get her out. He yanks on her, and she pulls back, and she drives off like crazy. And as she's speeding away, the gas attendant screams at the top of his lungs, "There's a killer in your back seat."
That is, yeah, I've heard that one. I've heard like a nicer version of that, where there's someone driving behind her,
Yeah, blinking the lights, right?
blinking the lights, and then when she gets to like a cop pulled over or something, it's like they find like some weird psychomaniac in the back seat. It's like these things with these urban legends. There's like lots of different versions of them.
Well, that's always been that way. Like, from oral tradition, there would be constantly different versions of each story. Like, okay, I'm going to use fairy tales as an example because that's what I'm
Well,
thinking.
yeah,
of right
fairy
now.
tales, Greek myths. I get what you're saying. Each author added his own flair to it.
And lo, Loki took the horse upon him and gave birth to Odin's seed.
Nay.
Yes, that.
Yeah, Loki got fucked by a horse.
Yep.
Okay, now that's out there.
And
So,
it has 6 legs.
So, would you be caring to share with us the story of the severed mouth woman, or as you would call her, I can't pronounce her name.
Kuchisakeona.
Kuchisakeona?
Coochie coo.
Hold on, let me get this on for you. Gotta set the mood.
Very well then. Yes.
See.
I'm QC's reckoning.
QC needs some goddamn reckoning. God damn
Will
it.
you be the hero that QC needs?
No.
Or the one it deserves.
No.
Come on, man. Be the hero.
Or live long enough to see yourself become the villain, whichever you prefer.
Iris is the villain.
No, I'm not.
Speaking of that, I saw a meme with that. It's like, it says, "Be the hero," and it's a picture of the Firefly cast.
No!
It's
Oh,
like either
you
you die the hero or watch yourself become the enemy, the villain.
They were never the villains.
And at the bottom, like where that line is, it's a picture of 2.5 Men.
Ugh. 2.5 Men. Who was in that?
It's
Charlie
Sheen, and I forget the other two. I don't know. I don't watch the show.
Were the Firefly people in there? Because I loved
Nah.
Firefly.
No, it's saying that Firefly was only one season, but it was like epic.
It
Well, this
was
2.5
an-
Men has been going on for what, 12?
Yeah, that shitty friggin'.
It's like,
Bring back Firefly.
but they're all old now.
I don't care.
The Wash is dead.
No, it was an
No,
illusion.
There is a time gap. Apparently, between the last episode of Firefly and the movie Serenity, there's 6 months.
Dude, you could
There's hope.
just write it all off as one of like River's illusion, one of her delusions in her head. That way, Wash dodges, Book doesn't die, and everyone's okay, and you can continue the series.
He got that from Adam Baldwin's interview, by the way.
Jane, you're a hero. You saved the show. No, just get the money again.
All right, ready, guys? Are you ready to tell this urban legend?
Yes, very well then.
For the record, screw you, Fox.
Screw you, Fox.
Go ahead.
Okay, this is the legend of Kuchisake Onna. It's a fairly recent Japanese story, actually. It's about the evils of cosmetics. Well, pretty much it goes like this. There's a little kid. Little kid's walking down the street. Sees a lady wearing a mask. The lady, she walks up to the little kid and says, "Hey, little boy, am I pretty?" The boy doesn't know how to answer. He looks at the lady. This doesn't work well with the lady. She stares deeper and takes off the mask, revealing as if she had a Glasgow smile. She screams then, "Am I pretty?" And at that point, the boy is utterly fucked. The end.
That's a good way to put it. He was literally fucked.
Yeah, because Kuchisake Onna will eat you unless you.
Wait, she eats you?
Yeah, she eats you, or she kills you, or she stabs you, or she bites you to death.
Unless you give her candy, right?
Yeah, hard candy, or yelling pomegranate 3 times as you're running away from her.
How do you give
why
her?
don't you just say yes? You're very, very pretty.
No, she'll still react.
Because
I mean,
ultimately, the thing is, do you realize what she looks like?
the bitch has a Chelsea grin. You know, like the Joker.
She has
with razor sharp teeth.
She has.
Like Kitana in Mortal Kombat.
Yeah, like Melina.
Oh, Melina. Okay, yeah, I can see it.
Now I was thinking of a troll joke. It's like, yeah, I want a BJ, but she has razor sharp teeth. Yeah, that's talk about al dente.
This myth has also been made into several film adaptations, or 2 as far as I know. 2 are on Netflix right now, but you have to be 18 and over to watch one of them.
It's about the woman.
Which one's the better one?
Well,
there's that one where.
Okay.
You tell.
Carved, the Carved is the one that's probably more accurate, and it's more accurate, and it's more of a horror movie. The other one is a horror porn movie.
Wait, what?
Exactly.
Yeah, except the stupid ghost won't let anyone get laid.
Nope.
Like you're thinking, oh yeah, porn. They're gonna go, yeah.
Well, actually, they get laid, but after they do it, then they're killed.
She's the ultimate cockblock.
Like, apparently the curse is passed on through sex or something. It's really weird.
So
but it's
either
funny.
have sex or die.
Yes.
Tough call.
But
no,
it's
either
so
have sex and
hilarious,
die, or don't have sex and die.
So you're suggesting if I'm gonna go home and watch it tonight, I should watch Carved?
Yes.
Cars?
Carved.
If you want to...
Cars 2 is the horror film.
I've seen pictures of it, and I won't lie. The pictures from the movie don't seem or look as scary as, like, the pictures that people put otherwise. Like, I imagine a big fucking creepy grin. But in the movie, it's just like it's still horrifying that she's cut at the mouth. But still, I don't know.
I totally get the image of the Cheshire cat with, like...
Yeah, it's also called the Cheshire Grin.
Oh.
The British call it that, yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
It's also called the Chelsea Grin or Glasgow Smile.
Yeah.
I don't get Glasgow or Chelsea. I don't get
places in Britain, because that's what gang members used to do. They used to stab you or put it in your mouth and then stomp on you so you scream and you end up tearing up your own mouth. That reminds me, Iris, remember the time when I put on the makeup and I was wearing the mask? Like, it made it look like I cut my mouth open, and I'm like...
Are you talking about in LARP? Or?
Yeah, at one point, yeah, I was like, hey, babe, you want a kiss?
I can't remember that, honestly.
Yeah, you face palmed and walked away, but I was like, what's
why.
wrong? What's wrong? Don't you like my facelift, baby?
Well, hold on, I got a quick video for you guys about this myth, and then I think I have another myth I want to bring up after this. It's pretty cool, but this one always fascinated me because it's a really creepy. Goes back to the whole haunted witch woman kind of thing, but and I'm not gonna lie, I watched I forgot which one it was. I watched a Japanese horror film, and it was cheaply made.
Ju-on, The Grudge.
I don't know what it was, but it was like short stories of like different people experiencing the same haunting. It might have been their version of The Grudge, but it scared the shit out of me because, to be honest, their cheap effects and makeup stand out from like the bland tone that's there already, so it sticks out, and it was horrifying. Yes,
did you see this movie on YouTube or on TV?
Netflix.
Okay, it probably isn't the original then, because before Ju-on the Grudge, the theatrical version in Japan, there was a made-for-TV version, and that's where, like, the teacher that the woman from The Grudge fell in love with, like, he's part of that story, and he also gets killed. Like, you see sort of how the story began. It's actually pretty interesting, and it's also connected to 2 other short films that the director made, where like they seem different. Where there are 2 different characters facing different ghosts, but when you see The Grudge, you realize how they're connected.
Oh, okay, that's good that you're here. You're clarifying up a lot of things I don't know. Every week we tend to have guests that just compliment the show. Last week we had you and we had Gennaro, who Gennaro just has his one-liners about what's going on. All right, hold on. Hang on.
I was saying with those that Japanese thing you saw on TV, they can get at least Japan. They can get away with a lot more than we can.
Yep.
A rumor surges throughout Japan that leaves children with trembling, sleepless nights.
Am I pretty?
Oh shit! It's her.
How about now?
The Severed Mouth Woman.
Babe, you
Through
look
comic
fine.
books and magazines, this rumor became a popular urban myth. Various story versions were developed, such as the woman carries a sickle to rip children's mouths, and the word Brill cream repeated 3 times protected oneself from the deranged woman. The hysteria was such that students were forbidden to go home alone and groups were formed for safety. The woman's identity and whereabouts are completely unknown, but recently, a former coroner came forward with some startling news. He said 20 years ago, a female chasing some children was struck by a car and killed. This unidentified woman's mouth was ripped from ear to ear.
Ouchie.
The coroner's report indicated that the accident had caused the slashed mouth, but in actuality this was, quite possibly, the severed mouth woman. Now, from the skeletal records of the corpse, we have been able to reconstruct the head of this unknown woman. Let's take a look.
Reconstructed head. Bet you she looks sexy. Hey babe, you fine!
Yeah.
I don't need to zoom in on that.
She looks like Cockmongler from 4chan.
I'll take your word for it.
Not gonna lie, that face is creepy.
Like this?
Yeah, that was really creepy. That music didn't help either, like that.
Lewis, I'm not looking at you.
Don't I look handsome, Iris?
No.
You look like you just got a big whiff of Joker gas.
I wanna see the story where the severed mouth woman is walking. You know, Santiago's walking down the street.
Oh no!
And then the woman comes up to Santiago. Do I look pretty? And Santiago just looks at her and goes, well, that's a matter of opinion. I really can't see behind that mask. And she's like, how about no? And he's like,
I did that.
not
God.
particularly. If you excuse me, I'm going on my way to Scotland to get some scotch.
No, actually, there's another ghost that actually attacks people that are intoxicated.
Really?
Yeah, I
Would you
forgot
like
her
to tell this story?
Yeah, she's
Tell
called.
me this now after I brought in scotch. Thanks.
Hold on. I'm going to get the music ready.
She's no. I don't know how to tell it. All right, fine. I'll attempt to tell it in the format of a story. She's called the Long Neck Woman. Usually, you'll be like your average drunken Japanese salaryman because you never leave work. In fact, you have a higher risk of dying from exhaustion than anything else. So, right, you're out on the town, and drunkenness in the street isn't as bad as it's here. Like, here you'll get arrested. So, you're walking down the street, and you see a rather pretty lady, and you're like, hey girl, but you're too smashed. Like, you kind of want to hit on her, but not really. You just want to get home. And she says, you ask her, you know which way such and such a place is? And she's like, yeah, over there. She points. You're like, thanks, miss. You keep walking and walking and walking. You're going the wrong way. You're about to say thanks, miss, and then you realize that her neck is extended all the way to where you are.
That would creep me the fuck out.
It seems like kind of like a weird cartoon.
That sounds like that illustration in Alice in Wonderland that used to give me nightmares.
Which one?
Ooh, now I
The
know how to
one
give you
where-
nightmares.
Remember when she's at the door and she's about to shrink, and like there's an illustration of her head like and her neck elongating like before she shrinks, and it's just bleh. It's like a freeze frame, and it's just eerie. The illustrations in general are eerie in and of itself, but it's that one.
I just get an image like of a cartoon giraffe. It's like, so what are you doing? As the guy's walking by, because he has, because the giraffe's got a really long neck. At least that's the image I'm getting.
No, her neck stretches out like a long.
I know, but I keep thinking cartoons, so it's not scary for me. That severed mouth woman, that one's creeped me out.
Nah, she's not scary. She's just happy.
I will say that
She's happy all the time.
So am I. I'd be like, oh, you're happy too?
Well, say this, she had some pretty nice teeth.
Yeah, it's like, you have better teeth than me.
true.
Can I kill you for your teeth?
Or at least give me the number of your dentist.
Yeah, shit. Not your surgeon, because obviously, but your dentist, yes.
Hold on, I'm sorry. I'm trying to find something.
You know what? Maybe the surgeon, too.
Well, you know what else I love? I love creepy stories about driving because, to be honest, I love driving. But there's one thing creepier than anything is driving down a lone country road
Oh,
by
shit,
yourself
no.
at night.
Wait.
I saw some old colonist ghost of my friend John, and we were like, you're fucking kidding me. That'd go. And then John's like, don't know, let's hit it with logs. I was like, yeah, America! And it looked like it looked at us. We raised our logs in defense, because we both had to take a piss. And we had to walk towards the bathroom. We saw this old-looking foppish dude. Completely white. And then, yeah, he turned and looked at us, looked scared. The lights went off. I'm getting the music again.
Yep, the music.
God damn it!
Because also when I listened to it, the radio show from last week, it kind of at times when it gets quiet, I feel like I need to have something going on at times. But you have a good story, I can tell. You're excited.
Yeah. Okay, so one day, me and a couple other friends were driving down this road in Long Island. It's right. I can't remember the name of the road.
Sleepy Hollow?
It's in Melville, off of Exit 40 Northern State Parkway.
Is it the crazy
Sweet Hollow Road?
Yes,
Sweet
that's
Hollow
the
Road.
name.
You drove underneath the underpass?
Yes, we did. And we paused and we tried to wait for the children to push down our car. Some of them felt like some of the people next to me, they said, "Oh my god, I feel them." And I'm the only one who didn't really feel anything.
Where are the there's
So
children?
Well,
yeah,
there's like
It was a
three.
popular suicide spot, right?
There's three different myths. There's three different myths to the Sweet Hollow Row. What is it called? The Northern State Overpass, because that's one of the creepiest parts about it. Is it's a very dark, creepy road with it's like almost a one-way road.
There
The
are
only
no
thing you can
lights.
see is the Northern State Parkway's overpass, and there's three stories that go along with it. Hang on.
Yeah, I was thinking, if it's children, just summon the ghost of Michael Jackson using shamanism, and nothing will scare you then.
Well, I'm telling you,
What
it's not
happened
really
was,
that bad during the day. I delivered auto parts and use that road all the time. During the day, it's not that bad.
No,
It's at night is where I
Well,
refuse to go anywhere near that.
one of the myths is that a school bus of children crashed and fell off the overstate onto the road, and the myth is that if you leave your car in neutral underneath the underpass, the ghost of the children will try to push you out of the way. But that's debunked because the road's on a hill. Second myth is that a couple of Catholic school kids. Well, now the story might be true because they're kind of similar in that these are also kids, but the difference is that they planned a suicide. They jumped off the Northern State and hung from the overpass. So as you're driving down the road, you would just see these shadows of kids hanging. The story is if you go up to the Northern State Parkway heading north, so you get off the Northern State and you head down north instead of coming the other way where you're already on the road, you're heading out. You're supposed to just stop in front of it, park your car, and push your high beam lights 3 times, and you'll just start seeing their shadows, tossing in the air. The third story, which I think is the coolest story, but is the least likely to have happened, a cop was in hot pursuit and was murdered on the road. So the story is told that you're driving down the road and you get pulled over by a cop. He expects you. Everything seems to be going normal and fine. Then all of a sudden, when you go to put your license away, you hear a gunshot. And depending on the story you hear, he either disappears and the car disappears, or his face blows off.
Like shotgun blown off? Or
Kurt Cobain blowed off. Go ahead.
The story I heard was different. That when the cop checked your credentials and said you were free to go, if you saw him as he walked back, you would see a gaping hole on the back of his
that
head.
would be creepy.
I've heard a couple versions of that too. Of course, it wasn't for this northern state; it was for other ones.
Although I won't lie, I met with a group of Long Island haunted investigators, and apparently what they told me, because right off of that road, Sweet Hollow Road, there's a road called Mount Misery, and then there's actually a private property group of horse trails that go through these like very hilly kind of areas, because the people own horses. They ride it through the horse, because if you notice, right before you get to the really cute part of Sweet Hollow Road, there's like a horse range. So what they do is they ride it through this little area called Mount Misery. That's actually when this state was founded, the Pilgrims called it Mount Misery because the land was too hilly and considered miserable to be used. It was too
You'd have a miserable time.
Yeah, you couldn't farm, you couldn't harvest anything, but I used to go there with a buddy, and like 3 years ago, we had a really bad winter of snow, so we wait like 2 to 3 days after the snowstorm when it all compacted, and we would just sled down these horse trails. It was the coolest thing ever, but we always experienced some creepy shit on this pathway. I think that Sweet Hollow Road's creepy, but nothing has ever happened, but I always experience some crazy shit going down these hills. And apparently I was talking to a group of investigators who,
Oh, shit. Music change!
There's a group of investigators where apparently they say that they get a lot of evidence that this area is haunted, and I asked the girl why. She said because a place becomes haunted when there's a negative energy or a negative death that can't escape. And she said that a lot of kids, especially back then, used to go to this place and, terrible things happen. People get jumped or, people get killed or raped or whatever. Because it's one of those spots. It's just one of those spots. So apparently they were walking. There's two ways to meet, and it's like a mile-long distance. But one group met at one end and the other group started at the other end. And one group was walking. They were about halfway in when they started seeing flashlights and whispering. And they were like, oh, that must be the other team. So they kept walking and walking until the flashlights disappeared. They eventually called the other team and said, where are you guys? We saw you coming down the path. They're like, we're not even there yet.
Oh, shit.
Oh,
yeah.
shit. Have you ever been to Kings Park
Yes.
Hospital? Yeah.
Is it the mental hospital that was abandoned?
I went there once with a crazy person.
Can I join you for this adventure? I want to join on this adventure.
It hasn't been abandoned, but it is closed down.
There's parts of it are closed down, but there's actually still parts of it still open.
Really?
Yeah, because they have. But the legendary building that everyone talks about is the 13th floor building, which I've been to. When you drive up to it, there's literally
huge.
It's massive. It's intimidating as hell, and literally it's just on an open field with nothing around it except for trees in the background.
And that's the mental institution.
I want to go there. Let's go there.
I think they tore it down.
No,
They didn't?
Like a couple years ago, it was still up.
But I know there's also myths that it's like 13 stories high. There's myths that it's also 13 feet, like 13 stories underground, where they used to keep the really insane people.
Like what we're talking, like the criminally insane.
Hello, Clarice.
Yeah, like I was gonna say Silence of the Lambs.
The criminally insane that
I'm
need
not
to be
Clarice.
kept away from the criminally insane.
Stop stroking my shoulder.
Yeah. So, urban legends are so much fun, aren't they?
Yes, they are.
The one that scares me the most, because I feel like I'm the sucker. I'm the nice enough, gullible sucker who's going to fall for this shit. I'll be driving down a dark road at night, or by me, it'd be Jericho Turnpike, just heading home from, like, Westbury movie theater. And then, you're with some people, or you're by yourself, and you see someone hitchhiking. Beautiful girl, which I'm a sucker for.
Yeah!
You pick her up, and then, there's different interpretations. The one that creeps me out the most, but also keeps me feeling safe, is because you don't die. She tells you where her house is, and you driving her, and she just has like these little random ticks, but she's beautiful, and you're having a good time. Then all of a sudden, you drive like past a tree, and she screams, and you scurve. Like you turn 180, and you survive. Nothing happens, but you look, and she's not in the passenger seat. you wonder, like, oh shit, maybe she got out of the car. You go to the house that she told you to go to, and then you knock on the door and you're like, hey, I was driving your daughter home. Did she make it home okay? And they look at you and they show you a picture and they tell you that she's been dead for 5 years.
I guess she got home.
No, I've heard
And the story goes that the place where she screamed and your car did a 180 is where she died.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I've heard of another one. Like, it's basically the same thing, you know. Except, you actually managed to drop
By
her
the way,
off.
before Santiago finishes, anyone who wants to call in and share an urban story, we're going to be going on for a while. We got a good discussion. Anyone who wants to call in and tell us a ghost story, please do. The lines are open. We usually get calls. We didn't this time. Maybe people are just so fascinated by what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Indeed.
But the number is on my page. I'll post it one more time. But you can also go to the page in progress. Please feel free to give a call and tell us a ghost story or anything. So go ahead, Santiago.
Well, like I said, the version I heard of that one is basically you manage to drop the girl at her house and you see her walking, open the door and everything, leave. And well, at least the myth I heard was the person goes back the next morning and either one of two things, like you said, the family tells her she's been dead for like so many years, or you find that that it was like the previous owners and saying, it's like you're not the first. This happens every now and then.
That creeps me out. Oh.
I want to go on one of these adventures and just encounter these ghosts now. Yeah, me and Santiago, we'll fight off the ghosts.
I hope you mean another Santiago.
No, I mean you, good sir.
He's too Spanish to go to Sweet Hollow Road, apparently.
Look, I'm sorry.
I wasn't.
I'm not exactly superstitious, but I'm sort of agnostic when it comes to this sort of thing. I tend to cover all my bases, so I'm not.
Oh, we'll bring crosses and all sorts of like religious paraphernalia and just religion to things to death.
You think no one's done that before?
No.
Exactly. I mean,